Things bother you and you're not getting over it. Something happened at work. The supervisor or coworker said something to you. It's not the first time they said something bad to you. Take it home. You go to sleep thinking about it. You have a panic attack in the middle of the night. Next day you wake up. As soon as you wake up and you open your eyes, you're thinking about it. And you just can't get over it. You just can't snap out of it. But you want to. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to deal with it. You can't really go tell that person what's in your mind because you could get fired. Or it could just escalate the problem. So you go to work, you're ready to walk in upset, you see that person, maybe they say something again. You feel humiliated. Come home, you're not getting over it. You just can't release it. And by the way, that's normal. You say, why can't I let this go? And you talk to your significant other or close friend and they say, oh, just get over it. He was having a bad day. Don't take it personally. Which, by the way, is good advice. Don't take it personally. And you go, yeah, I shouldn't take it personally. And you go home and it starts up again. You start thinking, he said that to me. I just like to slap that person. And you're right back in it. You just can't let it go. So somebody gets the other advice, don't let him rob you of your happiness. Yeah, you're right. I won't let him rob me of my happiness. Heck no. An hour later, he robs you of your happiness again. You're thinking about him. You're upset. You can't get over it. Somebody says, you're letting that man live rent-free in your thoughts and your mind. Why you let him live rent-free in there? Get him out of your mind. Great advice. But you just can't do it. As a matter of fact, the person who gave you the advice, he can't do it either. So why are people giving each other advice that they can't do themselves? Because it makes sense. Hey, get over it. Well, sure. And some people pray about it. They pray and pray, and they feel good. Wake up the next morning, and they're upset again. That person said this to me, and it gave me that really nasty look. You're angry. You're hurt. You're humiliated because when they said what they said to you, it was in front of other people. You looked like an idiot. And it wasn't fair. These old guys always picking on you. You just think, oh, what should I do? I got to get another job, but where am I going to make this kind of money? And it's close to my house. I don't have to travel too far. I don't want to do it. And you're just not getting over it. I know this about you. Been there many times in my life. I'm 84 years old. Been there many times, and I'm sure I could go there again. But I can show you ways to deal with it, to help to let it go and release it and balance it. I'll show you how to do that. I do it myself. I teach it to my people. Could be your significant other, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, did something to make you jealous. Seemed like that person was flirting with somebody. Right in front of you. You're at a party and it just seemed flirting. And you just feel so upset, jealous, and you go home and you get angry about something being out of place or this and that, but that's not what's bothering you. What's bothering you is that person seemed to be flirting with somebody of the opposite sex, and you feel humiliated, and it makes you feel very vulnerable, very, 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 very vulnerable. And you get nasty to that person, you get very short-tempered, and you're not saying it's because you're jealous. You come up with all kinds of things that you don't like, you're upset about. Anytime you felt jealous, that day, the next day, the following day, you can't let it go. You say, I don't want to let it go. You just can't let it go. And you keep thinking, well, if I keep hurting him, maybe I'll hurt him enough where my pain will leave and I'll be over this jealousy. and you keep saying nasty things, or maybe you start flirting with other people for revenge, or doing whatever, and you're just not getting over it. You just can't let it go. Say, it's not the first time I caught him flirting with another woman. I've seen it. Or I say, it's not the first time I saw her flirting with other guys. These good-looking guys more buff than me. She's attracted to them. She's just creating this kind of sexual vibe. You're not getting over it. That's a tough one to get past, by the way, even with my advice. That's a tough one. But there's a way to release these things and let it go and balance it. I'm going to tell you how to do that. These things stick with us. They sting. And what makes it worse is you think, gee, I don't want to be tormented like this. I just can't seem to escape these hurtful, humiliating thoughts. And the memory of what happened keeps coming into my mind. Maybe a week goes by, maybe a month. Heck, maybe a year or 2 years goes by. And it still pops in your mind at times from the past. About your boss, about your significant other, about whatever. So you find that we all need protection from ourselves, because we can we got stabbed, that's bad enough. And then we take the knife and go like that, and we can't seem to stop. We destroy ourselves with what was done. And I'm going to tell you how to deal with that. The title of today's presentation is Release, Let Go, Balance, Embrace. I'm Dr. Arnold Nerenberg. I've been upon this earth making mistakes for 84 years now. I've had more mistakes than all of you. 84 years of making a lot of mistakes, but also doing some things right, learning from my mistakes. And those mistakes that I've made are part of my qualification to help you. My father said to me, son, I have a lot of good advice to give you, not because I've been so smart, it's just I've been so stupid. So my stupidity has exceeded your own. And then I'm a person that reflects on things and pay attention to the promptings of the Holy Spirit. And I'm bringing you knowledge and insights that are going to change your life for the rest of your life. I'm not just interested in you now. I'm interested in you when you're 95, 105. For you to be able to say, Doc, I've lived a life of honor and I have no regrets. I'm going to show you how to release and let go and balance. It's doable. That's the good news. The bad news is you're having a lot of problems letting go, which is the human condition. The good news is I can help you with it with what I'm going to tell you about. That's the good news. A lot of good news for you. So we have the way of honor, the teachings of honor. I have a book called The Teachings of Honor. This is lecture 998 lectures, all about supporting the whole honor teachings, 998 lectures, just developing this, over 100 books, all to help you with this. But this is really targeted at letting go. You have the 4 commands of honor, the bridge, the supremacy of honor code, the 25 demands of honor, 25 laws of honor. But the commands also we have about 4 or 5 derivatives of honor. So one of the derivatives of honor, one of the commands of honor is this: I'm grateful for the power I gain from hardship. I'm grateful for the power I gain from hardship. So you're going through this thing's bothering you, you can't let it go. You're not getting over it. I'm grateful for the power I gain from hardship. This is going to make me stronger. It's going to make me up. As I get this resolved, I'll have more wisdom, more compassion. But I'm going to give you what I call a derivative of that command of honor. The derivative is this: what's the best true story I can tell myself about this problem? What's the best true story I can tell myself about this problem? I'll write that down. I'll be reciting that 3 times a day for life, because that's one of the ways of releasing it. You see, it goes like this, and I've told these stories, but I'm going to do it again because I believe this can help you a lot. I had a patient come in, a big macho guy, tatted up to his neck, very powerful looking. He was a roughneck. By roughneck, that means he worked in the oil fields. He came in, I saw his face all sad and looked angry. I felt behind that with tears. And he said, Doc, I've lost everything. My wife left me. In fact, she left me for another man. I said, wow, man to man, I have to say that's a trauma. That's a great oppression in any normal person's life. He said, yeah. And when she left, she took my children. I haven't seen my children in 3 or 4 months. He said, all I think about day and night is losing my wife and my children. So I understand. I said, I have 7 children. I have a wonderful wife. If that happened to me, I'd be traumatized by it. I was just getting to understand the human condition when I said it to him. He said, and you know what, Doc? I was so stressed by losing my wife, losing her to another man, losing my children. I don't know where they are. I was so stressed I couldn't even go to work, couldn't make my mortgage payments. I lost my house. He says, Doc, for the last 3 or 4 months, all I thought about is how I lost my house. I lost my wife. I lost my kids. I just can't get that off my mind. I'm suffering deeply, Doc. Can you help me? I said, you're in luck because I can help you. I said, what if I told you there's a best true story you can tell yourself about this problem that will give dignity, nobility, and honor to your life? He said, dignity, nobility, and honor? Yeah. I said, Doc, how can we do that? I said, are you ready for the healing medicine? And yes, I sure am. I need it. Here it is. I've lost everything, but I've gained myself. I said it again. I've lost everything, but I've gained myself. And he looked at me. And I saw his face transform right before me. Started lighting up. I have gained myself. He was just so beaming. In fact, he left the office. He was just floating out. He went to the secretary. He said, hey, you know what? I've lost everything, but I've gained myself. Still didn't have his wife, his kids, or his house. True story. That helped him release it, at least for then. We let it go because the loss was real. And if you've been hurt through at work or your significant other, it's real. But it's only half the story. Always, without exception, you will find there's a gain. There's a best true story. Whenever you tell yourself these stories that are really bad true stories, it's only half the story. There's a good that came out of it. Even my patients were wonderful, lovely people that come to see me. They went through a trauma at work. I mean, they've been abused, discriminated against, picked on, treated unfairly at work. I see it all the time. But then people say to me, Doc, it was terrible, but, there is a best true story. I'm getting time with my wife and my kids, seeing my parents. I never had that before. And Doc, to be honest with you, meeting you and learning the honor teachings, this is a great blessing for me. Yeah, I have gained a lot. I hear that all the time. All the time. Now, it doesn't change the fact that they have some really difficult supervisor who's abusive, but they're seeing the gain. And that allows people to let it go. They don't forget what's happened, but they're not walking around tormented as much. By doing this, we speak a little bit of light into the darkness, because that's all the darkness, all those bad stories, true bad stories. It's a darkness within us. But we speak a little light into that and say, this was good. I had a patient, his name was Jimmy. He told me I could use his name and tell the story. He said, I had a job for 30 years in security. I was the head of security at a major corporation, and I only had about 30 days left until I could retire, and I had great benefits. And one day they were watching on this video, and they were seeing a picture of one of the people that worked there naked. I guess her ex-boyfriend sent it, and they were looking at it, and he saw them watching that, looking at the naked person that worked there in this photo, and he just walked away. His supervisors found out what happened and found out that he didn't stop it. They fired him. He said, Doc, it was not just I lost my income, my retirement benefits, my health benefits. I was so respected there. Christmas time, I'd get a card. I'd have so many gifts. I'd fill it up because I was loved and respected. I lost that. I said, Jimmy, what if I told you there's the best true story we can tell ourselves about that problem that will give dignity, nobility, and honor to your life, and that you'll come to me within 1 month and tell me it was the best thing that ever happened to you? He actually laughed. He said, you're telling me I'm going to come to you and tell you losing my job of 30 years, my health benefits, my retirement benefits, and I'm going to tell you it was the best thing that ever happened to me? And he was kind of laughing. I mean, he just couldn't believe he could ever say that. I said, exactly. It'll be within 1 month. It didn't take a month. 3 weeks later, he said, Doc, I want to tell you something. I can't believe I'm going to say this to you. I said, what's that, Jimmy? Getting fired, losing my job was the best thing that ever happened to me. Okay. Let's hear why. That's what I knew it's coming. Let's hear it. He said, I have a good marriage. My wife and I have always loved each other. But we hardly saw each other. I'd get up early in the morning, go to work. She'd go to work. We'd come home tired. We really didn't get to visit much. She came home the other day. She said, sweetheart, don't think I don't notice that you vacuum the house and you have dinner ready for me. The candles lit, so romantic. I said, don't think I don't notice that. He said, Jimmy, I've always loved you, but I love you more than ever. He said, Dr. Nerenberg, hearing that made it all worth it. Losing my job was indeed the best thing that could have happened to me. True story. 3 weeks later. So he was able to release it, let it go, by being able to do that. He saw that there was a best true story. I had a wonderful lady come to see me, crying, weeping. She said, they shot my son. They shot him 9 times. He's in the hospital in a stable condition. They shot him, Doc, 9 times. I said, I have 7 children. I say, that's the worst nightmare for a parent. Nothing worse than that. I'd rather be shot 9 times than have one of my kids shot 9 times. And I said, I feel so much compassion for you, person to person, parent to parent. And it was a really true, bad story. There's no way to change that. It's a bad story. I said, but what if I told you there's the best true story we can say about what happened to your son that will give nobility, dignity, and honor to your son and to yourself? Doc, she said, I've heard that you do some good things. I heard that you're motivated by the Holy Spirit. If you could do that, it'd be a miracle. I said, it's not going to be a miracle, but it's going to be good for you. I said, here it is. They couldn't kill my son. They shot him 9 times. God has a purpose for his life. They couldn't kill my son. They shot him 9 times. God has a purpose for his life. Her face changed. The tears stopped. Smile came over her face. Yeah, God does have a purpose for his life. And she just, at the end of the session, floated out of the office. I said, be sure, before she left, I said, be sure to tell your son what I said. I said, I will. Well, I saw her the next week. She came in. She was still smiling. I said, did you tell your son what I said? She said, I sure did. He smiled and he was so happy. I've heard great things that have happened to that boy since, that young man. I mean, when she left, he was still shot 9 times in the hospital, but she was able to release it because she was able to tell herself the best true story. Yeah, they couldn't kill my son. Who gets shot 9 times, survived? He survived it. They couldn't kill my son. They shot him 9 times. God has a purpose for his life. I'm just talking truth to you. This is where letting go. I'll use myself as an example. When I was 65, that was 19 years ago. 19 years ago. I went to see my urologist. They had taken a biopsy from my prostate. He says, Dr. Nerenberg, you have prostate cancer. And it's not a little bit amount. It's an intermediate amount, and it's somewhat aggressive with a Gleason of 7. My face went numb. About 10, 15 seconds. And I said, Doc, that's great. He said, what? I said, that's great. This prostate cancer will make me stronger, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. I know he was shocked. I'm sure he never forgot it. When I walked out of his office, I didn't feel worried. I saw the trees and the birds and the sky, people walking by. I just felt with love and like I was seeing these things for the first time. And people I know, they thought of me as a stranger, but I looked at them all as family. I just wanted to go talk to them, and as if I've always known them. And that feeling, by the way, stayed with me to a large extent. Not as strongly as them, but it stayed with me. Now, but you see, I was already well versed in, I'm grateful for the power I gave from hardship. Back then it was, hardship makes me strong, and I'm grateful. And so, and I should mention also, at that time, I took the title strongest drug-free man in the world for my age and weight. I did many feats of strength. Bench press 365 pounds. About 5 or 6 years later, I set a world record of power pull-up of 140 pounds hanging from a chain belt and did a pull-up. 70 years old, I took a world title as a bodybuilder, did all those things. As a matter of fact, 3 months after I had the surgery, I was incontinent for a while. I wore a diaper. I flew out to New Jersey to compete in the World Natural Powerlifting Federation. The only athlete to ever weigh in wearing a diaper. We all had a good laugh. I told them I just had a prostatectomy. I weighed in. The next day, I set a world record. And Saturday night, I flew back from New Jersey back to California. And people, after I got the diagnosis, I had a friend of mine, when he heard the diagnosis, he wept. And he was shocked how relaxed I was. Well, I knew it was going to make me stronger. And of course, one of the commands of honor is, God, you wish is my only wish. That's an important one. I call it the mother commandment. For those who believe in God, we use that. If they don't believe in God, we use, I seek always to serve my highest values. So we don't say, go, God, your wish is my only wish. I said, God, before I even went to get the final diagnosis after the biopsy, I said, God, if you want this to be cancer, I want it to be cancer. I do. I really did. Not just saying it. But if you don't want it to be cancer, then I don't want it to be cancer. And Lord, if you have no preference, I prefer it's not cancer. Well, it turned out it was cancer. But I had the prostatectomy and it hadn't metastasized, so I've been fine since, really good shape. So these are the best true stories I tell about this problem. So in that case, I didn't even have to let it go. It was immediately within 15 seconds, my face went numb. That was my reaction. Stress. But within 15 seconds, I was good. But sometimes after things get to me, that could take a day, a week, a month. I had something that stayed for years. I keep working on it. We had an inheritance issue where my sister, may she rest in peace, basically ripped me off about $2 million in inheritance. And of course, I had the thought when I was going through this with her, I love you, I forgive you, and I'm going to sue you. I did sue. I got some, but I still had about $2 million. So anyhow, we still kept up some relationship. My wife stayed, my wife didn't hold it against her, although it was. So I found I had to keep working on myself. I said, what's the best true story I can tell myself about this? So, well, my real inheritance wasn't the money, although my parents helped me when they were alive. The real inheritance, and I got some money in inheritance, even though I was ripped off for $2 million. My real inheritance was my father's loyalty, his attributes, loyalty, generosity, the love he had of people. I got that. And for my mother, her love of nature. That was my real inheritance. It was an emotional, spiritual inheritance. But I still had this spot in me, a dark spot, which I didn't let go. So what's the best truth so I can tell myself this, Bob? So I said to my wife, I knew that if I became destitute, my sister would take me in and give me a house to live in and feed me. I know she would have done that. That gave me a little something to hold on to, a little something. Still, I had this thing. She did this to me. She also infantilized my mother. She became a caretaker for my mother, became rich from that because we had a really successful business in the family. My sister kind of usurped that. So I still carried that. Now, this one was years. This one was not quick. We're talking 10 years on this one. just to give you an idea how slow some of them works out. It's in God's time. It's not always in our time that we let it go. Then recently, I said, my sister up to age 16 was really good to me. I mean, extremely good to me. She was a sweetheart to me. After 16, it changed. But she was the best sister I could have ever had up to age 16. And I said, and I talked to her every night. I talked to my parents, my grandparents. I tell them I love them and whatnot. I always loved my sister. That never changed. But I had that really spot that I couldn't let go. And I go, she was good to me when we were young. In fact, she was a better sister to me than I was brother to her. And so letting go more. So one thing in terms of dealing with these negative things that you have, you don't want to fight against them. You want to just speak a little light in the darkness. You want to balance it. Let the negativity be. Don't try to make it go away. Just speak light into it. Speak light into it. And speaking light involves, one thing it involves, God, you wish, them only wish, and certainly, what's the best truth story I can tell myself about this problem? Now, another one, somebody that you love, like your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, and you love that person, but you're really upset and you can't let it go. Here's how you can speak light into it and help you let it go. You're not fighting. You might say, gee, I shouldn't resent that person for it. I shouldn't be upset. That's not going to work. You look into the resentment. You can't quite see your loved one, but you go, I love you. You speak right into it. I love you. At that moment, you don't feel love, but you know you love that person, but you don't feel it because love is more than a feeling. You speak into it. I love you, and I wish you well. When you do that, it starts letting go a little bit because you put some light, what we're really talking about. You don't fight the darkness. No, you just turn a little light in it. Turn on a little bit of a light. You balance it, and and when you put the light on, it starts dissipating. Love, if it's strong enough, will do it. Now, some people, when they're upset, they don't want to say I love you. Oh, no. But you have to be, then you're not going to be able to use this. You have to be committed enough to say I love you when that's the last darn thing you want to say because you resent the person. I've trained myself. I can do this. I can do it. I don't care who I'm upset with. I can do it. I know it works. But you have to be committed to put honor before pride, honor before everything, honor before life itself. You've got to come to that position as much as you can. Now, another way of releasing, when we stop blaming somebody, that person did this to me, that person did that to me, it was so unfair, it was so wrong, and you just take this victim narrative, and I'm sure there was some victimhood there, but 99% of the times we did something to co-create it. Something, even though they might have instigated it, been more responsible for the problem, generally somewhere we have fed it, generally. Now, if you're walking down the street and there's a drive-by shooting, you're a total victim. But that's rare. In terms of, you're just as likely to be struck with lightning. I've co-created my problems, I can tell you right now. Most of my suffering I caused myself. So, one of the commands of honor is this. I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality and my problems. I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality and my problems. That will get you out of the blaming because the blaming will keep you aggravated, will keep you angry. I've co-created that. So I can ask forgiveness for what I co-created. Say, I apologize, I've co-created some of this. I've added fuel to the fire. I apologize. Please forgive me. The other person may or may not do that, but probably won't. But they might. But that's neither here nor there. You're doing it, helps you let that go. And when you wish somebody well, you may not want to wish them well, but you're wishing them well because it's good for you. It's very good for you. Some people are so upset they can't say I wish you well, so then say, I want to wish you well. Some people can't say I love you. I want to love you. And after you go, I want to love you, I want to wish you well, within a few weeks, you won't need that. You're able to go, I love you and I wish you well. It takes a few weeks, though, where you don't need that anymore. So, you've seen the commands of honor. I wish you well. I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality, my problems. I'm grateful for the power I gain from hardship and using either God, your wish is my only wish, or I seek always to serve my highest values. And you want to do that 3 times a day for all your life. As you commit yourself to that, you'll find you'll be able to use this to help let things go. Sometimes quickly, sometimes not so quickly, like the case I just told you about. Or if you don't use God, you wish him only wish, I seek always to serve my highest vows. Then you want to use what I call the bridge. It's the bridge between honor, the realm of honor, and reality. You want to optimize the probability that you're going to use your commands of honor in a situation. So the bridge is this. What's the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? What's the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? So when you're following this way of honor, we're no longer looking for happiness. Let's get that. If you ask most people, what do you want in life? They say, oh, nothing, I just want to be happy. In the way of honor, we're not looking for happiness. Paradigm shift, we're not looking for happiness. We're not looking for peace of mind. We're looking to live honorably. Now, it turns out that honor is the foundation of true happiness and true peace. You can have a little rest, but you can't have true peace if you're not honorable. You can have fun or entertainment, but you can't have true happiness without being honorable. You'll have some regret mixed in it. It should be short-lived. So, do the 4 commands of honor. Do some of these derivatives that I've been talking about. By the way, I love you is one of the laws of honor. And use your bridge. Of course, it helps if you do a little deep breathing with it. A long exhale that activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which suppresses the sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is basically for fight, flight, and anxiety. So calm yourself down a bit. That's very effective, very physiologically wired into us. Now, for those who believe in God, love God, whatever religion you are, whether it's Jesus Christ, Muhammad, Baha'u'llah, whomever, Krishna, Moses, whomever, Buddha, Zoroaster, whomever, or God, directly God himself. So a person can pray to help us let it go, or it could say, you know what? The divine educator that founded my religion sacrificed so much for me. I want to give up my resentment for you, Lord. I can't do it for myself, but it's the least I can do, given you wanted me to love my enemies and given you forgave those when you're being crucified. Say if you're a Christian, which most of our people in America are, forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. So, if you could do that for me, I want to give up this resentment for you. So you see yourself going through resentment, you say, wait a minute, I'm going to let that go for you, Lord. A couple of minutes later, it comes back, wait a minute. I want to let that go for you because I know you don't want me to carry that resentment in my heart. I'm going to let it go for you. Sometimes we could do something for God, as we understand God to be, that we won't even do for ourselves. That's doable. So definitely I want to talk about the power of the power of the Spirit, the power of the Holy Spirit. All things are possible to God and to the Holy Spirit. That can be done. Because once you go, God, your wish is my only wish, you know God doesn't want you to have that resentment. You know God doesn't want you to have that rage. You know God doesn't want you to seek revenge. I don't care what religion you are. No religion says seek revenge, hurt your enemies. No religion has that. So you know what God wants of you? So say, I'll do this for you, God, because I know that's what you want. You gave so much for me. I want to do that for you because that's eternal. And this resentment I have is fleeting. Remember this, happiness and all suffering and happiness and resentments are fleeting. Only honor is forever. So I want to live by honor, Lord, because I know that's what you want. I want to do that for you. And you may have to keep reaffirming it because those resentments just keep coming back. And you go back to it and back to it. You will be victorious. You will be victorious. But you have to be very sincere. And you have to always be ready to fight the battle. The battle against whom? Who's the real enemy? Why, it's you, of course. It's me. And living the way of honor is a shield against our own negativity. And by living the way of honor, we protect others from ourselves because we can get pretty nasty from these resentments we have. So this path protects others from us and protects us from us. And by living this, we help to illuminate and uplift society. We uplift our families and society. So it's a threefold mission: to protect us from us, to protect others from us, and to uplift those around us and uplift civilization. That's what it does. That's the effect. That's the vibration of doing these things. And I'm here to say it's doable. I have so many wonderful, wonderful, lovely, amazing people that are living by these teachings. And I'm hearing every day amazing stories of self-conquest, of letting things go, of releasing things, of bringing a balance into their life. I hear it every day. Oh, no, I've done so many studies. I've published about 20 of my own studies in my own journals called the International Journal of Evidence-Based Protocols for Honor Therapy. Many studies that we've done at the clinic here. So this isn't just clinical, it's clinical observations, it's life observations, but it's also evidence-based at this point. Doable. Well, it's been my pleasure to present to you Release, Let Go, and Balance. Now for the most important part of our presentation, where we open up to our beautiful, wonderful, lovely audience who, when you speak, people benefit more, as much or more than when I'm speaking, because when they hear each other, you feel less alone and you feel part of a wonderful community. So please feel free to speak up. And if somebody else is talking, you have something to say, don't worry. When you're finished, write it down. So make sure you come back. Don't just give up on it because other people are speaking. No, put aside, write it down. When people are not jumping in, then you come in with what you have to say, because people will benefit from each one of you. So please feel free to speak up, ask questions, or make comments.
Hey, Dr. Nerenberg, this is John.
John. Always great to hear from you, John.
You as well, sir. I could definitely say that once I started the program, just listening and doing the 4 commandments and the bridge, just doing those things have definitely changed my outlook on a lot of different things. And instead of just wondering what I'm going to do, whatever situation comes up, I now really have something solid to lean on and say, okay, well, what is the most honorable thing to do at this time? And then I just go by that. And it has changed a lot, the way I think and feel.
I think you're amazing, John. I've talked to you a number of times, many times. You've sent me wonderful texts about the tremendous insights you're having. I know it's changing you. Now, the key is, and I've said this every time I have a session with any of you lovely, wonderful people, I tell you, recite your commands of honor on the bridge, but make sure when you stop being my patient, you don't stop. You want to do this all your life. So everybody's saying to me, yeah, I want to do it all my life. Make sure you do. You're going to get busy later on. You're going to have a job, these responsibilities, whatever. It only takes 12 seconds, 8 seconds to do the commands of honor, 4 seconds to do the bridge. You can do it while you're driving. You can do it while you're in the shower. You can do it while you're sitting on the toilet. You don't have to go somewhere. So make sure you keep doing this all your life. Is that your intention, John, to keep it up all your life?
Yes, sir. I don't plan on stopping at all, especially if it has brought me so far this length and made me feel better in myself and the situations I do come across now.
John, if I run into you in 10 years from now at a coffee shop, I'm going to ask you if you're doing your commands of honor. And
I will.
And I hope I'll hear, yes, I am. And you can even recite them for me. It's good if you memorize them.
Yes, I will be able to.
John, you're an amazing guy. I have a lot of respect for you and admire the sincerity that you have and your commitment to the way of honor. I know this, John. Hearing you inspires me and inspires everybody listening right now. You're an inspiration and a beacon of light to us by what you shared. Thank you, John.
Thank you, sir. You're a beacon to all of us as well, sir.
Thank you for that, John. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Jorge here.
Who is speaking?
Jorge.
Jesus, it's a little noisy. Say it again.
Jorge.
Jorge. Okay, Jorge, yes.
Good evening, sir.
Very good to hear from you, Jorge, Ambassador of Honor.
Always nice to hear. These meetings are so meaningful and very helpful. One of the things that I realize, when I'm ruminating, these negative thoughts, they always seem to be like they take me down this road, that it takes away from your inner peace. You're always, you're quite right. You something happens at work, you bring it back home. It's just running around in your head. You're thinking all these negative things, and you wake up and it's exactly how you described it. So one of the things, the 4 commandments of honor, the bridge, to me, they are so, so helpful. But I'm also, reading the laws of honor. And one of the laws of honor is, that I will always follow negative thoughts and reactions with positive self-talk immediately. And that usually, like I would say 99.9% of the time, just stops those bad thoughts right in their track. So,
well, if it does that for you, that's great. Some people, it may not stop it, but at least shine some light into it, and the negative thoughts will come back less often, with less intensity and less duration. But it's wonderful. It stops 99.9% of the time for you. That's amazing. And Jorge, I think you're amazing. I told you that you're a true seeker of truth. You are a seeker of truth in the basic sense of the word.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That's what I wanted to share with the group today.
And you used an important word. You said, when I'm ruminating on negative thoughts. We're all ruminating. As a matter of fact, in one huge study at the University of Maryland, they found that 80% of people's thoughts are negative. 80% of thoughts are negative. And that 95% of them are repeating thoughts on a certain subject or a certain incident. So it's normal to have negative thoughts. That's the normal thing. What's not normal is to be able to release and let it go in a timely manner. That's not normal. That's super normal. That's divine. And certainly everything that I teach is inspired by the Holy Spirit. It's consistent with all scriptures that basically teach these things. I just put it into a psychological framework. So the rumination is the correct word. Very well said. Rumination, where we ruminate on these thoughts, these incidents. And I know your situation. I know what you ruminate about. I know you very, very well. And those are serious things that go on in your life. I know what you're dealing with. And but I see you making efforts using the teachings of honor. You're a seeker of truth, and so you're looking for spiritual avenues to also deal with your life. Much admiration, much respect to you. Much respect, Ambassador of Honor.
Thank you, sir.
You're most welcome. Thank you, too. Thank you.
Hi, Dr. Nerenberg.
Who's speaking? Is that you, Joanne?
Gisela.
Oh, Gisela. I didn't see the picture. There you are, Gisela. Ambassador, the original. I mean, the one person who came up with the term Ambassador of Honor. Yes, Gisela.
Yeah, because I see it in everybody. I just want to say that before I started your program, I used to have this big fear of negativity. But as soon as I started embracing your program, I now see negativity as a gift because it makes us stronger and make us more honorable in this society. So now when I view negativity, it's just like, okay, you're testing me, but I'm strong within myself, and I am thankful for some of that negativity because it makes us who we are today.
One of the derivatives that I use, I'll share it with you. God, I'm extremely grateful for the gift of trials and tribulations that bring me closer to you. God, I'm extremely grateful for the gift of trials and tribulations that bring me closer to you. You want to be able to do that while you're in the suffering. And later, after you're over it, you can say, boy, that was good for me. I'm so glad I'm wiser, I'm smarter, I'm tougher. But no, you want to be able to do it right when you're in it. Say, God, I'm extremely grateful for this gift of trials and tribulations that bring me closer to you. Because it's suffering that brings us close to God. When things are going well, it's good if we thank God and be grateful. But the truth is we turn more intensely to God when we're suffering. And that's the gift of the suffering. That's the gift.
Most definitely.
Very well said, Gisela. Very well said.
And if it weren't for these negative either people or situation, you would never have come up with this program that we follow.
Oh, if I hadn't suffered profoundly in my own life,
exactly.
I was just trying to cure myself. And then I was doing this on myself. I said, well, gee. And I started sharing with my people. And I saw that everybody was benefiting it. And so I've just This is lecture 998. So we have almost 1,000 videos on this. We have about 100 books on this. And God keeps inspiring these thoughts and understandings.
Absolutely.
I will tell people I'm not that good a guy. I align myself with the Word of God, and the good you get is from the Spirit. And I'm not saying that out of humility. I'm serious. And so these profound truths are just flooded me from this. And all of you are a part of inspiring. I get these texts. I get wonderful comments like you're making now. And that inspires me to write and reflect and come up with even more lectures. So this is really a creative process that you're involved with in ways you don't even know. Wonderful, lovely Gisela, to get more of your input, please share that with us.
Well, today's topic is release, let go, and balance. I just want to add is release, let go, balance, and embrace the honor system.
Wow. I would say that's an improvement. Release, let go, balance, and embrace
honorism.
Embrace the teaching of honor. I like the word embrace. Release, let go, balance, embrace.
And I use that term because that's what since the beginning of this program, I've been embracing all your teaching. This is a great program, and you just made me a stronger person than I was before. And I'm continuing to work on myself. Well,
you're such a lovely human being, so caring about people, and somebody that wants to make a difference in the world and give to the world, which is why you were even doing the kind of work you were doing for the law firm, the pro bono department. So this was a natural path for you to be on, Gisela. Absolutely natural, the most natural thing in the world for you.
Yeah, and just in case for those who don't know what pro bono is where we provide legal help to the underserved, people that can't afford attorneys.
And that's amazing because attorneys can be so expensive. Thank you for everything, including the expanding the title. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Who else has something you would like to ask or say?
Dr. Nerenberg, this is Reginald.
Reginald, my brother. How are things up in Northern California?
Oh, it's great. I will be quick. Through my experience, just to kind of expound on what you was about negativity, through my experiences and what I've learned and what you have also reaffirmed, that the stuff that people done to me, negative or any other way, it was actually done for me. So wow. I really, really had to embrace that.
Wow. What they did to me was really for me. Certainly our enemies, the people that hurt us, are our biggest teachers. What they did to me was for me. Wow. I like that. What they did to me was really for me. That is amazing. That's a good way of saying it, Reginald. Wow. No wonder we're brothers. Amazing.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And continue to do what you're doing. And we're gonna remain friends.
Oh, yeah. And stop by anytime you're here in SoCal, anytime.
All right, brother. God bless you.
Yeah, God bless you, my brother. Yeah. Wow. Thanks, Reginald. Who else has something you'd like to ask?
Doctor, this is Robert Janica. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Oh, Robert, there you are. Big Robert. There you go, from San Diego.
Yes. Well, I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. As you know from the text today, I'm going through one of my biggest fears and things that I stress the most about, and right in the middle of it, with no resolution at this moment. I know it'll happen, and I can tell you that, sometimes you're grateful for that, the hardships you get. It's not always easy to be grateful for that. But with the commandments of honor, I could tell you without it, it would be a different story, and I wouldn't be able to be here and managing this. It would be either rage or withdraw. And I can tell you that this course and everything else and what we've been going through and the commandments of honor, I've been able to pretty much calm down with the breathing and relax and just kind of deal with it. It's not that I'm still dealing with a lot of stress and a lot of things, but more and more I'm saying the commandments, the more and more I'm saying I'm grateful, looking for the positive aspects about it. It feels better. So just wanted to throw that out there, that sometimes it's all roses.
So Robert, I know what you struggle with, and I've watched you send me text of the struggle, and then I've seen you send me text that were amazing. And you gave me permission to share it with others. I see you suffer, getting really anxious, and overwhelmed, and then you send me something that's transcendent. You go, wow. Well, you just stepped above it. So I've seen you do miracles, go from drowning to just soaring. I've seen it myself. I mean, I've witnessed it because you text me often, and I'm grateful for that. And I share a lot of our texts with your permission because it's so uplifting. So good. I mean, I'm very. It's a great privilege to witness your journey, Robert. I can say that with all sincerity. Great privilege for me, and to be a guide in your life. Certainly has a lot of meaning and sense of destiny that I'm an instrument for bringing this to you and to many of our other lovely people. Thank you for your input, Big Robert.
Yes, yeah. Obviously, and hopefully tomorrow will make a good conclusion.
Oh, yeah, well, in God's time. Some things don't always happen as quickly as we want, but yeah. Thanks, Robert.
I'm a big believer in letting things go. Holding grudges only hurts you. I had an ex-wife, and every time I made a mistake, she would bring out the list of all the things I'd ever done in my entire life that she thought were wrong. And it really made me question how genuine her forgiveness was.
Yeah, so he was saying it was ex-wife. I'm laughing, I'll tell you why in a minute. He has his ex-wife that if he made any mistakes, she would bring up, a whole litany of things he'd done wrong or everything she knew about him. So, so even though she said she forgave him, he wondered how sincere she was. I could tell you one way that Hugh has dealt with this. He's always joking about his ex-wife. So humor is one way he does to let go. To this day, it's been many, many years. And he was married to the love of his life, Cheryl, after for many years. Beautiful marriage after the ex. But humor is another good way. And one of the laws of honor, where I try to make fun of myself, is, that's ridiculous, silly Willie. It's ridiculous, silly Willie. So I'll say that when I start getting uptight about something, I put a little humor on it, not to take myself too seriously. Somebody said something to me today about, it was Jerry. Jerry said, do you know why angels could fly? And I said, why? And Jerry said, because they take themselves so lightly. So, we all have to lighten up. Certainly, the more I lighten up, the better. The more we all lighten up, the better. One of the laws of honor is not about me, nothing personal. That's true in a lot of situations. The person's mean to us, they're just mean to everybody. Or having a bad day, going through a divorce, got fired from a job, whatever. Well, some way, just lighten up. So certainly humor and lightening up and be able to laugh at ourselves. Somebody once said, I wish I had said it, you became an adult when you have your first good laugh at yourself. So being able to laugh at ourselves and our circumstance, which, by the way, I'm pretty big on myself, but the more we lighten up, the less these things will stick to us. It's really, and that's doable. I laugh at myself more than ever. I laugh more than ever at things coming up, and I've even laughed at sometimes people trying to get at me, and I'm just laughing because I can see what they're doing. I think it's funny. So lighten up is a good thing for us. Oh yeah. Sometimes hard to do, but the wiser, the more we achieve wisdom, that wisdom is a pathway to lightening up. Because we have that perspective. All stress is related to loss of perspective. We say, I see reality. It's that this person, my boss, said this to me and did that to me. That's all that exists. Well, we forget I have this finger, this finger, this finger, this finger, this finger, this eye, this lung, this lung. We forget all the blessings we have. We have a loss of perspective. That's what causes all stress, loss of perspective. So to the extent we achieve wisdom, we have a wider perspective. And I'm defining wisdom in the honor teachings as integrating our losses and our gains, our joys and our sorrows into a constructive perspective. And certainly be able to laugh at our own egos, what other people are trying to do to us, and see how we're responding is funny. That's one of the best ways to let things go. Really a beautiful way to do it. And that's doable. That's really doable. My wife and I laugh a lot. We get into something and pretty soon we're laughing. My mom and dad would get into a huge fight. It would last 10 minutes with a blow up, and then they'd be laughing. I mean, I just grew up around that. Then I found people, I grew up with the idea, let it go in 10 minutes. But then I found that's not how the world works. That people don't let it go in 10 minutes. And then, so I realized that things, it's going to stick. And I learned the world was not what I grew up with. And that's true for all of us. Anyway, lot to be said for lightening up and be able to laugh at ourselves in the circumstance. And being of Jewish heritage, they say when a Jew laughs, the world laughs with him. And when a Jew cries, he laughs at himself. So it's kind of the heritage where we do laugh at ourselves. As a matter of fact, a lot of the comedians that really launched comedy in this country were Jewish, because we learned to laugh at ourselves dealing with all this anti-Semitism and so forth. So it's part of our heritage. Any persecuted group will eventually find a way to laugh at themselves. Look at Chris Rock making fun of what's happening in the black community, being able to laugh at himself and whatnot. Oppression does that. That's one of the gifts of the oppression. The good thing that comes out of it is being able to laugh at ourselves. Very constructive, very healing, very healthy. Well, it's been a great pleasure and my great privilege to be with everybody this evening and to be able to talk to you, release, let go, balance, embrace.